Pisciculture, I think that was what we were discussing.
Yes.
Take out your book. And this is volume 1. Take volume. Take out your book.
अच्छा होगा नहीं है मैं स्पीकिंग टू सून
With red? Why pink? Why pink? Blue, no. Why with red and pink you all are coloring the sheet? Chalo, take out your book. The other day we had started discussing on cattle farming. I think cattle farming we completed and we were talking about those concepts on fish production. That was what we were discussing about the concept of mariculture, aquaculture. Look into that part. So here, fish production. What are you to study? Few questions that would come from here would be, what are the two types of fisheries? Number one, see there, the two types of fisheries, one would be inland and marine. Inland fisheries, freshwater fisheries, that is, and seawater fisheries would be known as marine fisheries. So two types are there. What is the meaning of pisciculture? That concept to remember. Pisciculture is not only the scientific practice of rearing fishes, but it is fishes along with any type of other aquatic organisms. So all types of aquatic organisms, the scientific methods of rearing, caring, breeding of any aquatic organism, all known as pisciculture. So see the first part, page 101. Page 101. Now see there, two types of fish farming. That is what we were discussing the other day. Two types of fish farming. What is it? Culture and capture. Culture fishery and capture fishery. So when we are talking about culture fishery, capture fishery and culture fishery. Culture from the word always to remember done artificially. So what is culture fishery? Mostly culture fishery is done for freshwater fishes, where artificial lakes, ponds are made, big tanks are set up. Now, if we talk about most of these freshwater fishes, which are naturally to be grown in the, to be cultured in the river, majorly the inhabitants of the river, the lake, the big ponds. So what is happening? This type of fishes more in demand. So what will happen? They will be cultured, making artificial lakes, ponds, and this, if this is the method, then there are some series of tanks where some fish eggs will be thrown in the water. Nutrients will be given there, hormones will be given there, and now the fish eggs, they start growing into small, small fingerlings, almost like the tadpoles, fingerlings. Then these fingerlings will grow bigger, 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 and for every stages, these organisms will be shifted from one tank to the other. Different type of nutrients are given, and in this process, some 3 to 4 tanks will be there, where the fishes are grown right from the egg to the adult stages, and when they achieve the optimum size, they are marketed. So this is culture. What about the capture method then? Capture method means I talk about a big sea or an ocean. In a sea or an ocean, and capture method is majorly for the sea ocean. Now in the capture method, what's happening? The fisherman, they would generally have a specific region in the water body. They have got those baits for marking the region for their convenience. So every particular fisherman would be having a specific region where they are supposed to go and practice fishing there. So in that particular area of the water body, what they'll do? Throw the fish eggs. Especially I'm talking about marine fishes now, in the sea and the ocean. So throw the fish eggs. Now that the fish eggs are thrown, in the natural habitat, the organisms are growing, not in an artificial setup. So capture fishery is always done in the natural habitat. So there itself, the fishermen would every time go and visit that area. Nutrients are being thrown, nutrients are given to the growing stages, hormones and etc. all given there. And then from time to time they are checked. But how would the fishermen know that there is a big cluster of fishes? They have got certain devices. Those devices are known as the echo sounders. The echo sounders which are attached with their boats and all, the echo sounders will be there, which generally give them an idea that where are the fishes in dense or large numbers. So from there they get an idea and they will be constantly throwing the nutrients there and the fishes will be growing in large numbers. So if the process of fishing or if the process of growth and breeding of the fishes are done in the natural habitat, then this is known as capture or culture. Capture. And if it is done in an artificial setup, culture. Okay, now go to the next one, marine fisheries. Fish varieties, some common fish varieties, names you should know, see there. Marine fisheries we are talking about from the sea ocean. Pomfret, mackerel, tuna, sardines, bombay duck. And then the increase of the yield. Yield increased by locating large school of fishes in the open sea using, underline this, satellites and echo sounders. So satellites are also used nowadays. Various different type of devices are there which give the fishermen an idea where there are dense number of fishes in the water body, huge water body. Economic value. Why should the fishermen or why this fish industry? Fish industry in India is a big industry. If you talk about the entire coastline, right from the western to the eastern coastline, the entire coastline that is there, fishing is a major industry. But what are the benefits? Is it only fishes that we are talking about for consumption? No, it is not only fishes for consumption. Fishes are generally cultured for various different type of other products. What are the other products? Fish oil. Fish oil has got a great economic importance. Where are they used? Fish oil are used in various different type of medicines, making of medicines. If you talk about the cod liver oil and all, which are of great medicinal value, digestive importance, cough, cold, etc. Second, we talk about this fish oil, which is used in making various different type of cosmetics also. The fish oil is also consumed. It has got rich sources of different type of vitamins. Economic value. See there, marine fishes of high economic value are farmed in the seawater. Includes various type of finned fishes like the mullets, vetki, pearl spots, shellfishes, prawns. These names you'll have to remember. Underline the type there. Oysters, cultivated also for pearls. Oysters are generally not consumable basically, not edible types actually, but these are also of great economic importance. Underline the word mariculture. What is mariculture? And up there we have been talking about one more word, that is aquaculture. So two concepts are there. I'm sorry, in the paragraph on inland fisheries, you see there, mariculture and aquaculture. This is a pair which is very often asked as differences. What is the difference between mariculture and aquaculture? If it is mariculture, we talk about the scientific method of breeding, feeding, rearing of marine organisms, all including oysters and prawn and everything. Aquaculture would be what? When we are talking about aquaculture, that would be not only the marine organisms but any type of aquatic organisms. So mariculture, always remember, it has to be specifically the marine organism, sea, ocean. Aquaculture can be anything. Fish production. Now, inland fisheries, if you see there, fish reservoirs, check that. Brackish water resource. What is a brackish water body? When we are talking about the brackish water body, what is meant by brackish water body? Do you remember? You've studied somewhere? Brackish water. Brackish water is always where the sea or where the river would meet the sea. So brackish water, it is something like an estuary, a lagoon sort of, where we are talking about where the river goes and meets the sea. That is known as the brackish water. So when we are talking about the southern belt of our country, a major part is brackish water, where the river goes and meets the sea. The types of fishes growing in the brackish water and the types of fishes growing in the proper sea ocean is different. They are not the same. See there, fish reservoirs, brackish water resources where sea water and fresh water mix together. Sea water, fresh water mixed together. Fresh water meaning we are talking about the rivers. Sea water, fresh water mixed together, such as the estuaries, the lagoons are very important habitats where fish production happens. Fish production, while capture fishery is done in such inland water bodies, the yield is not high. Most of the fish production from these resources is through aquaculture. So fish production, when we are talking about the capture fisheries, in the capture fisheries, just now I told you capture fisheries means process of scientific breeding in their own habitats. So if a farmer is practicing capture fishery in a sea and the other farmer does it in the river, where will be the yield more? Always in the sea the yield is more because the expanse is much bigger. But in the river, since it is a flowing water body, generally they cannot practice capture fishery there. Capture fishery can very well be done if the water body is a stagnant water body partially, that is the sea and the ocean and the lagoon and the estuary they can do. But if it is the river, if it is the river and the lake, these are flowing water bodies. So in the flowing water bodies also fishes are there, but capture fishery generally not possible, then they have to go for culture fisheries there. Development, different types, if you see, what are the different types? Now here two major types only you are supposed to know very well. One is, when we are talking about, see there is one type that we are talking about, the composite fish culture. Composite fish culture and the integrated fish culture. See there, the first one is integrated. Let us talk about the integrated fish culture. So what is integrated fish culture? Integrated means where in one pond or in a tank, this is an artificial setup. Integrated, when we say it is integrated fish culture, where we are generally talking about breeding certain type of fishes, and these are all the inland fishes, the river fishes, but where the fishes are not generally that big like in the ocean and the sea. These are medium-sized fishes. Where they are grown? In the paddy fields, in the rice fields. The rice fields and the paddy fields are supposed to be waterlogged. These are the rice and the paddy. For cultivation, there is an adequate amount of water needed, almost till the level of the leg, till the level of the knee. So that much water is very much sufficient for the growth of certain type of fishes. But which type of fishes? The marine or the inland? The inland fishes. So whenever we talk about the rice fields and the paddy fields, nowadays the farmers, they always make it a, this is quite general nowadays, that whenever a farmer is growing paddy or rice where the land is already waterlogged, the level of the water just now I mentioned almost till the knee level, they would generally select one particular area where no rice or paddy fields are planted there, but the water is collected, the water is stagnant there, and there they have started growing some medium-sized fishes. Which are the most common type of fishes grown there? The carps, which are small, medium-sized fishes, easily can be grown there in all stages. The rohu, the katla, the anubis, these are the common types of fishes that can be grown there. So if along with certain plants in the same plot of land, along with certain plants which also need a large amount of water for growth, and a small area chosen for systematically developing fishes, that method is known as integrated fish farming. Integrated fish farming. Then if this is integrated fish farming, then what is composite? Composite means, when we talk about the word composite, composite means what? A collection of a number of them. Composite, many together. Exactly here also, the composite meaning is the same. Here also, we are talking about composite fish culture. What will this be? In case of composite fish culture, say suppose the fish farmer, the fish breeder had made some tanks, huge tanks are there, and in that tank he has decided to grow 5 different types of fishes. What are the criteria and how it is done? So first he will make some big tanks. The water should be almost like the water of the lake and the pond and the river, meaning fresh water. The water that he is collecting in the pond, in the tanks are not the sea water. The water that he is collecting in the tank has to be the river water or the regular pond water, lake water. Now, if it is a concept of composite, then, for example, maybe 5 types of fishes are grown. I'm talking about a tank, trying to more or less compare it with a pond or a lake. Is it that in a lake, whichever fishes are there in the lake, is it that all the fishes are at one particular region of the water body? No, some particular fishes are at the bottom, some fishes are in the middle layer, some fishes are in the superficial upper layers. So exactly here also, whenever we are talking about composite fish farming, the fish breeder will make a tank, try to fill in with pond water, lake water, and adequate amount of salts and minerals to be there. He will now select 3 to 4 types of fishes on what criteria? Number 1, criteria, the most important criteria is the selection of the fishes are as such that they should be residing in different levels of the water body. So one type of a fish will be selected which would be majorly residing in the bottom of the water body. Another type of a fish would be selecting which is in the middle of the water body. Another type of fish will be selected which are small in size and in the upper regions of the water body. So the selection of the fishes has to be in this particular criteria. Can he select all the 3 types of fishes which are residing in the middle layer of the water body? No, then there will be a problem. Can you tell me what can be the problem? If by chance the bigger fish, there will be a lot of competition for the nutrients in the water. There will be a lot of predation there. So the selection of the fishes is a very, very important step there, where number 1, the selection of the fishes has to be based on their sizes. Appreciably bigger size fish will be generally occupying the bottom of the water body, then smaller which will be occupying the middle part of the water body, then some more smaller ones which will be present in the upper layers of the water body. Number 2, the type of food also generally not the same. So that also they make it a point to decide when they are selecting the types. The type of the food that this fish species are dependent on should not be all the same. And what is the third criteria? The 5 types of fishes that the breeder has chosen to be grown in that tank, none of them should be a predator of the other. In the sea, in the ocean, in the lake, in the pond, naturally, yes, one type of fish does feed on the other type. But in this tank, now that he is trying to set up an artificial pond or a lake, the breeder would always make it a point that the 5 types of fishes that he had selected, on this basis, that the type of nutrients that they are feeding on different, the level of the water body that they are occupying different, and none of them feed on each other. No type of the fish is a predator of the other one. So if that is all done, now at the end of the season, the breeder is getting almost about 4 or 5 types of fishes ready for cultivation, ready for getting marketed. So his yield is quite a lot. In that 2 or 3 artificial ponds, he has set up almost a huge production of fishes. So when we are talking about the integrated or the composite fish culture, this is of great practice nowadays and of great importance, and it gives this type of fish farmers tremendous yield. See there, advantages. What are the advantages of composite fish culture? Underline. This composite fish culture is also known as polyculture. Why polyculture? Because so many different type of fishes can be grown at the same time. Now, advantages are what? Advantages, the first advantage that you write, 4 to 5 different types of fishes can be grown at the same time. And next is, this increases the fish yield. Number 2, the nutrients of the water body, all the nutrients of the water body can be used up. Otherwise, if he would have selected, he would have made a big pond and he is selecting only 1 or 2 types of fishes and all of them growing in the middle layer of the water body. The nutrients of the upper layer and the bottom layers of the water body is just a waste. So, to make all the nutrients of the water body utilized, they will always select different types of fishes growing in different layers of the water body. But what is the disadvantage? What would be the disadvantage? Can you tell me, there was a similar method that you had studied in case of crop farming also. What was that method? Similar type. Now that we are talking about fish farming, composite fish farming. What was that method in crop farming known as? No, this was not crop rotation. No. What was that? Mixed farming. Mixed farming. So now that we are talking about composite fish farming, it's almost the same as mixed farming. But that was in terms of crops that we studied. And the concept is almost the same. Disadvantage, see there, one problem is that many of these fishes, now the disadvantage in our country, that is not for every particular region of the world. In our country, the problem is that when we are talking about the fish breeding season, the fish breeding season is majorly in the monsoon time. So most of the fishes, they have the breeding season monsoon time, but in our country, the types of the variety that we get, yes, the breeding season is the monsoon time. So that is one major disadvantage that we come across. So during the monsoon time, their breeding is maximum. And in the dry months, even if those type of tanks are made and everything is set up, even then, the production does not become adequate. Disadvantage, see there, one problem, composite fish culture is that many of these are monsoon breeders. Even if the fish seed is collected from the wild meaning the original, very good variety of fishes, wild, it can be mixed with that of the other species as well. So a major problem in fish farming is the lack of available good quality seed. What is the meaning of the word seed here? Eggs. Fish eggs. Seed here means eggs. So now the problem is, but if you realize, fishes we get all throughout the year.
What is composite fish culture?
That's what I told you just now. If it is composite fish culture, polyculture, what did I explain you just now? That in an artificial setup, 3-4 types of fishes are grown. And in that lake or a pond, which is artificially made, 3-4 types of fishes grown, but criteria are many. Neither of the types should be a predator of each other. They should be residing in different levels of the water body. They should be of variable sizes. So there are criteria to choose those fishes. Now, we say that, yes, in India, what is the problem? Monsoon, though monsoon season is quite a prolonged period, 3 to 4 months on an average everywhere. So, production of fishes in those 3 to 4 months is as it is high. But what about the dry months? What about the months December, January till March, April, May? What about those dry months? Will the fish production be very high? No, the fish production is not very high. In those months, the fish production is not very high. So now what to do? But the demand for fishes is already very high. So what to be done? Now the inducing of hormones are done. The fishes are induced with a hormone. There's a particular hormone induced and the fishes will be induced with that so that the fishes produce large number of eggs. But this is artificially done. Because in almost about 5-6 months of the year, the production of the eggs become very low because it's not the monsoon time. So now that the eggs are low, how to increase? Inject hormones in them, artificially induce the production of the eggs, and then the fish production go on. So in our country, basically for almost 5 to 7 months, the production of the eggs is done with the help of a pituitary hormone. But other than that, in those 4 months of monsoon, that is not much needed because as it is, the production of the eggs is very high. The last part, see there, we are talking about beekeeping. Beekeeping here, 3-4 words and concepts to remember. Beekeeping, we are talking about apiculture. How do you define? Now, by now, all these words, there's a standard form of defining. You should be very comfortable. What is apiculture? What is pisciculture? What is the different concepts that we have studied? Agriculture also, how to define it is a scientific method of rearing, breeding, feeding of, if it is livestock, animal husbandry. If it is aquatic organisms, pisciculture. And if it is poultry, for poultry also we have studied. And now for bee, the same standard definition for bee, if you are talking about, then that is known as apiculture. For bees also, we had studied earlier for cattle and all these, we had studied indigenous species and exotic species. Do you remember the indigenous species of cattle? What was it?
Gypsy.
No?
Gypsy.
Indigenous was what? Indigenous means our country. Indigenous was no? Bos Vindicus, Bos Vivalis, that is the Indian cow and Indian buffalo. So this will be asked in the exam. So this is what you'll have to read. And exotic species means from the other countries. Exotic species was Jersey, brown Swiss. So these are that. Now, when we are talking about the bee, also there is something like this. In India, when we are talking about the Indian breeds of the bee, which are the Indian breeds of the bee, the Apis dorsata, the Apis indica. Okay, so these are the most common ones. The Apis indica. Mark those words, mark those scientific terms also. You have to remember this. The Apis dorsata, the Apis indica, the Apis dorsata, and the Apis florae. Apis florae are the very little ones, the very small bees. These are species of bees, but very small they are. Apis indica, Apis dorsata, Apis florae. These are indigenous. Then what are this exotic are ones? Exotic mellifera. Apis mellifera is the exotic variety of bees there. Apis mellifera, the exotic variety. Now, when we are talking about bees, all of you must have seen a beehive. Did you ever see a beehive? Did you ever realize that the beehive, nearby the beehive, what is there? Did you ever realize what is commonly found?
Bees are hovering around us.
No, I asked you that a beehive is a beehive just anywhere and everywhere. No, beehives are not anywhere and everywhere. Notice next time whenever you see any natural beehive also, a beehive wherever it is, nearby that place, there will be enough number of flowering plants. Nearby that beehive, there will be enough number of flowering plants. That is called pasturage. So a beehive is always nearby a collection of flowering plants. Why? Because these bees, they will collect the nectar. They will collect the nectar. They will deposit in those small hexagonal cubicles that they have. They will put that, release that. They have got small mouth parts, and they will just absorb from the flower and collect in their mouth part, come and drop in those small cubicles that they have. And this starts getting mature, thicker, and that is what we are talking about as honey. So in a period of some time, some chemical reactions happen, and this secretions, that is the nectar that the honeybee bring, that becomes a little bit denser, thicker, and that is what we are talking about as honey. Now, what is the medicinal or what is the economic importance of honey? Is there any economic importance for the honey? Yes, there is enough. Honey has a lot of economic importance. What are some to remember? Honey has a lot of economic importance when we talk about medicinal purposes, especially for cough, cold, fever, digestion. Definitely honey plays a role. Apart from that, when we are talking about honey, honey has so much of other importance when we talk about as a food source. Honey is also rich in nutrients, but at the same time, it is also considered as a natural sweetener. Honey can be used in so many different type of food products as a substitute for sugar, and that's a healthy substitute for sugar always, sweetener that is. So honey, you can write whenever you are asked, write down the economic importance of honeybees. So the first thing to write about honey and in points to write down. So I just have said that these honeycombs, which are always near the pasturage, what type of plants have got good nectaries? What are nectaries? Nectaries are a small gland in the flower which is filled with some transparent sweet substance, the nectar that we call it as. So all flowers does not have nectaries. Nectaries are small tube-like structures inside the flower. So which are some of the flowers which have well-developed nectaries? The jasmine, the hibiscus comparatively, not that well-developed also. The different types of jasmine, yes. Then lilies, yes. Then the different type of those berry plants, the flowers of the berry plants, yes. Mangoes, yes. So all these different type of plants and the flowers have well-developed nectaries. Then, when we are talking about the entire beehive is in the form of hundreds of small chambers.
Is the nectar present in the stem, like green part, which is the flower is attached to? Because I have plucked one flower once and I have tasted it with the nectar, or just I felt it was sweet.
The nectar, if you have seen a flower in detail little bit, the nectar is very closely running with the stigma and the style till the ovary. It's inside. Even for hibiscus also it's there, but not that well developed. It will always be inside in that stigma style region, connected to the base of the flower, but not that long also. It is a small tube-like structure, open ends, where the insect can probe its mouth parts and take that secretion. And that's a natural secretion by the flower itself. So this is about the honey. Now the entire honeycomb, we get to see even for the natural honeycomb, the outer entire structure of the honeycomb appears to be waxy in nature. So this wax-like substance is produced by the honeybees itself. The entire wax-like structure, those hexagonal cubes, these are all made by the honey bees itself. So what about this wax-like substance that they secrete? The entire structure, when the honeybees are driven away, the honey is squeezed off, the entire structure is nothing but just a waxy substance which is melted, filtered, processed, and then used in so many different type of purposes. So this wax that we are talking about, the wax from the honeycomb, is of great economic importance again. So after the extraction of the honey, this entire big shell-like structure is now melted and processed and filtered and then used for different type of purposes. For what different purposes? Number one, again, it is used in making so many different types of, in the paints and the varnishes that we use for our doors and furnitures and etc. This wax is used there, which gives a shine and that polish. Then this is also used in making so many different type of cosmetics that we use. The Vaseline jelly that we use, the Vaseline that we use for our skin, for our feet, for our soul, there also it is used. So this also goes in the the making of the different type of candles that we use, even the scented candles and the regular candles. So these are used in so many different type of purposes. So this is about the natural setup of the honeycomb and the honey and the wax. Can this be set up artificially? Can the honeycomb-like structure be set up artificially? Yes. The honeycomb-like structure can be set up artificially near a good collection of flowering plants. And what are they known as? These are known as the apiaries. What are these known as? These are known as the apiaries. How does an apiary appear? Apiaries are something like this. These are artificial setup where near the flowering plants, these are made. These are artificial apiaries. What is an apiary? It's an artificial honeycomb. It's an artificial, huh?
It is used for honey farming.
Bee farming, apiculture. So this type of apiaries are set always near some very good variety of flowering plants. What is this collection of flowering plants known as? Pasturage. Near the collection of some berry plants. Berry plants are very good for having nectar. Nectaries are well developed in them. And then this type of artificial setup. Now this is what is known as a apiary. Okay. So this is what you'll have to study. Economic importance of apiculture is very important, a concept here. Let us go to the questions. Let us try solving some few questions. All your text questions are already answered there. Later you should read from there, study all those questions from there. Now go to page 103. Go to page 103. Let us talk of certain few important questions. Go to question number 4. Mention the pathogens which cause diseases in plants. What are the common types of pathogens that cause diseases in plants? What did we come across? Plants are affected by bacteria, virus and fungus. Bacteria, virus, fungus. Majorly 3 types of organisms majorly affect. Plants are not affected by worms. Bacteria, virus, fungus. Go to the next one. Why is it necessary to do proper cleaning, maintaining sanitation and spraying disinfectants in the poultry?
Bacteria or infections.
Bacteria plants suffer from a variety of bacterial infections. Bacteria, fungi and virus are major organisms that the plants suffer from.
Poultry farms or for animals or
Poultry is for birds, chicken and all. We have studied the layers and the broilers, that one. So why is it necessary to do proper cleaning? Why is it? Why is it necessary to do proper cleaning, maintaining sanitation and spraying disinfectants in poultry farms? What to write? What will you write there? Why is it necessary to do proper cleaning? Because this poultry, that is the birds, when they are the farmhouses, wherever the birds are kept, we had studied those 4-5 points, that wherever the birds are kept, should be the surface, the floor should be very clean, the area should be well ventilated, the birds should be cleaned from time to time, otherwise they will suffer from different type of infection, basically the bacterial viral infection from their own waste substances. Maintaining sanitation and spraying disinfectants. Again, for all these, you have to write a paragraph on that this is basically done for what? Preventing different type of bacterial, fungal and viral infections. Why is it necessary to do proper cleaning, maintaining sanitation and spraying disinfectants in poultry farms? Next is let us write some 2-3 of these in the notebook. Take out your books. Take out your notebooks. Let us write this number 6 there. Number 6. List the factors which are responsible for the loss of stored food grains. Write down this. Right, number 6. Number 6. You can write down the page number and the question number and write down the answer. List the factors which are responsible for the loss of stored food grains. Answer. This chapter is started in school or not yet?
Yes, just now started.
Started, okay. So that means in this coming exam you have this chapter, half of it?
Yeah, in this exam and in the final exam.
This exam half?
No, this exam and also the final exam. So
Full chapter, okay. For CBSE Podar, do you get your term exam paper after your exams?
Yes.
Not directly after exam, we get it usually during PTM or before the PTM.
For 9th also?
Yes.
10th also?
Yes. 10th, we don't know yet. Board exam, I don't think so, but
No,
term,
till I think term
yes.
they don't get, I think so. Okay, so now write down the answer. The chief cause, that is number 6, page 103. Write down, list various factors we are to write down. The important factors which lead to loss of stored food grains are variety of biotic agents such as insects, rodents,
Stored food
In-
grains.
are a variety of biotic agents such as insects, rodents, fungi, mites and bacteria. Insects, rodents, mites, fungi and bacteria. Full stop. Some abiotic factors such as high moisture, low temperature, high moisture, low temperature, also attract growth of fungi, and thus result in loss of food grains. Next question, let us go there. Next question, number 6B, that is, how these factors affect the produce. Let us go to the second part. How these factors affect the produce, right? The production of plants are affected by biotic agents such as weeds, insects, and various pests. Weeds, insects, and various pests. Full stop. Next line. Weeds compete with the main plant. Weeds compete with the main plant for space and nutrition. Weeds compete with the main plant for space and nutrition. Weeds compete with the main plant for space and nutrition and decreases the growth and productivity of the main plant. Next slide. Various insects and pests destroy plants by eating away the leaves, buds, and making holes into the stem and the fruit. So that is number B, how these factors affect.
Portion of bio is over, right?
Yes, today last. All done. Next, number 6, C now. What can be done to prevent this loss? The last part, number C. What can be, number 6, C now. What can be done to prevent this loss? Let us write. What can be done to prevent this loss? Write down. Loss of food producing crops. Can be stopped on the fields by using chemical substances known as herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides. Herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides.
Herbicide, insecticides,
and fungicides. Full stop. These chemicals prevent the plants from various types of pests and microbes. Prevent the plant from various types of pests and microbes. Full stop. Weedicides weedicides. Weedicides can be used to stop. Weedicides can be used to stop the growth of weeds. Weedicides can be used to stop the growth of weeds. Next sentence, next line. The spoilage of grains can be stopped. The spoilage of grains can be stopped. Spoilage of grains can be stopped by sun drying them. By sun drying them before storage. By sun drying them before storage in the warehouses. Before storage in the warehouses. Before storage in the warehouses. Full stop. Fumigation can be done. Fumigation, these are all methods, huh? So remember to write. Fumigation, F-U-M-I-G-A-T-I-O-N. Fumigation can be done. Fumigation can be done. Fumigation can be done for. Fumigation can be done for various types of grains. Time to time. To stop growth of microbes. Okay, so this number 6 is a complete 5-mark question. So this type of questions in parts. Try number 7.
Microbes.
Growth of microbes. Try number 7 on your own. Try number 7 on your own. That is easy. Straight question, that is. Try number 7. You are done with chemistry, physics?
Chemistry, physics, almost. One last chapter is left.
Physics?
Physics, there are many chapters.
Physics, many chapters?
Physics, there are many chapters.
How many?
Work and energy and sound. Work and energy, then light, then sound, and no, that's it.
2
But it
chapters.
will take, I think, it will last till November.
Achha.
November starting.
Who's taking physics here? Achha. So maybe now the bio lectures will get converted to physics. So you may have 2 days physics now because bio we are done today.
So now my chemistry, chemistry will also end by this week. So
whatever subjects left, that will be taken more now. Because the target is by November, portion should be over.
What we will do after November?
By November end, that will be time for your school exams again, no? November end, December mid. December mid will be, so for you all by.
Extra lecture and test right after.
So now that you say physics is left, so that may go on till maybe first part of December. Because we will not be calling you for more than 2 hours a day. Only 2 hours you are coming, no? So if now, say suppose, if this bio lecture gets generally that is done, so bio maybe now you will be called for physics lecture in this place of bio. So then also in a week 2 hours. Instead of 1 hour, now it is 2 hours. So maybe at the most by first or second week of December you should be done. So by that time it's time for your exams again.
Ma'am, will there be any holiday for Diwali?
Yes.
Is that?
Diwali, 9th standard you will get little bit more. 10th standard you will get only 3 days. Which is
classes.
9th standard you will generally get, I think for sure 7 days, 10 days you will
1 week.
1 week is what
I
is
don't,
there?
I don't know. There can be.
More than 1 week.
9th standard nothing much to study.
Huh?
Huh?
Portion much होता है. So bio and chemistry, physics.
So less, you're not aware. The portion, the book is now almost 1/4. So much of the portion is deleted. So now, try number 7. Tell me what are the answers. Are you aware? Name 2 common sources from which fishes are captured.
Seas and
Captured.
Right? Sea and pond you will not write.
River.
Inland waters and marine
Marine
water.
waters.
You have to write specific words. Name 2 common sources from which fishes are captured. Inland water bodies, marine water bodies. So that way you write. Why are mussels and shellfishes cultivated? Mussels and shellfishes. Mussels and shellfishes, they are cultivated. These are they are edible. They are of great demand. No, clams, mussels, shellfishes, they are of great demand. They are edible fishes. They are edible. As marine fish stock get depleted, how the demand for more fishes can be met?
by
How, as marine fish stocks get depleted, how can the demand for fish be met by artificially cultivating them and inducing fish production? By inducing hormones, production of the eggs can be increased. So that part you have to write. How are marine fishes caught? With the help of with the help of echo sounders. I asked you that point to tick. Satellites and echo sounders. First of all, select the area. Catching, of course, by fishing nets. But how are they selected? That's very important to remember. Name 2 marine fish of high economic value. 2 marine fishes of high economic value. These are not marine. Rohu, Katla, these are, see, they had come across in compost. Of great economic value is
mullets.
2 marine fishes of high economic value. One is oysters, pearl oysters. No, but they are saying marine fishes. Pearl oyster is a mollusk. Pearl oyster is not a fish. Name 2 marine fishes of high economic value. Sardines. See those names there. Sardines, tuna, vetki. These are all marine fishes. So any 2 to write from there. Don't write oysters. Oysters are not actually fishes. These are, though they are cultivated for pearl, but these are mollusks. These are not fishes.
Period over.
Huh?
Period over.
Period is over. Sure, so sad. Okay. Now this set of questions, the NCERT questions all done. Read from here. And this set of questions, go through once you have read the chapter properly. And now we are done with the syllabus. So for now, when your exam is near, definitely when you read, there will be few doubts. If there are doubts, you may book for the doubt solving sessions. I have never seen any of you in the doubt solving sessions. Do you all come or never come? Never come for any doubt solving queue? No doubts.
For maths. But mostly we need doubt in maths questions, that science rarely.
So if at all there is any, then for the doubt solving sessions, book a slot and then if there's anything, ask. Okay? You have started studying now seriously? Do well. 9th standard, though the syllabus is very little, but here you should try learning certain things, writing the paper, managing your time, all these things very important. Definitely what we have studied in the 9th standard, nothing is there in the 10th. Nothing. What you have studied in the 9th standard, especially for biology, what you have studied in the 9th standard, nothing is there in the 10th. In the 10th standard, you are going to study a fresh new set of chapters. Okay? तो क्यों पढ़ा 9th ना? Okay. Do well in your coming exams.
That's my question here all the way.
Yeah.
हाँ वही
So there was
तो चिल्ला चिल्ला ऊपर से वो मंजुला मैम टिक्को मैम सब बात करके आ रहे थे
क्या हुआ?
उस मयूर का हुआ क्या सब मयूर मयूर
अरे कोई चक्कर खाने गिरा
मयूर को सांस लेने हो नहीं रहा।
फिर पता है पूछ क्यों रहा है
प्लेटफॉर्म कर रहा वही हुआ।
वो अर्पिता मैम क्यों चिल्ला रही थी
अरे टिक्को मैम नहीं मिल रही थी
अर्पिता मैम क्यों चिल्ला रही थी
हमारे स्कूल में कोई मेडिकल रूम नहीं है क्या मेडिकल रूम नहीं क्या
वो उसको उठाएगा और नहीं जाएगा। कौन?
मैंने वही पहले पूछा जिससे
रसोई में चाहिए उसको उठाने के लिए
प्रमोद सर आए थे और
कौन वो
तो का बेहोश हो गया था।
प्रवीण पीठ का नाम क्या है
वो बेहोश हो गया था।
नहीं उसको वो बेहोश नहीं हुआ उसको सांस में आए चलने के लिए जाना
अब एक बार
आया कैसे आज तो मैं क्या उसको
वो सानवी चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोलती है कि नहीं वो तो मुझे लगा ही था एक दो बार तो मिलने के बाद प्रमोद सर मुझसे कर लिया था
मैंने पता मेरा ये है लेकिन अच्छा ये वीडियो में ये मुझे खुद को समझ नहीं आया किसका वो क्या है
ये मेरा पर वो दीदी मैम भी को भाग भाग के आई
तो भागेगी ना।
चाहे मन में चले आए तो क्या भागेगी नहीं
अबे एक बार मैं और रचना उसको उठा के लेके गए थे।
वो भी भाग गया
वो हमेशा
घर में आया था बाहर वो सब बाहर थे पता है
हाँ पता नहीं ये लोग बाहर भी नहीं काट के और मुझे लग रहा है
सानी बोलते को आज तक के लिए बहुत डर लग रहा है उसके गिर ना गया हो अरे ऐसा क्या है ना कि मयूर एक बार फेंट होने वाला था तो थैंकफुली प्रमोद सर बात में करते उसको पकड़ लिया कि वो गिरे ना
देखो हमेशा बीमार रहता है नहीं
मयूर रिजाइव मारी
अबे हाथ
मैं और दिया मिला के
नहीं हम तीनों मिला के कुछ नहीं किया नॉर्मल है
तो ऐसे नॉर्मल इंसान को कैसे नहीं कर सकता
अरे हमको को ये पता नहीं नो ऑफेंस पर उसमें इधर इतना फैट भरा हुआ है हमको साक्षी पता नहीं आप कुछ तो होगा उसके वेट उसका वेट भी हो गया हम लोग की क्लास में बहुत सारा वो जाने के बाद पता है हम लोग की क्लास में लोगों को चक्कर आने लगा थे खांस नहीं आती
हमारे लिए बहुत डर लग जाता है
रात से कुछ किया मैंने 2 दिन से कुछ नहीं किया दिमाग को मैंने भी कुछ नहीं किया मैंने ज्ञान कर बस बैठ के वीडियो कॉल करके मैंने एक दो अभ्यास किए चैट आज नहीं कोई करना इतने सारे अभ्यास बाकी मेरे काम लाइक जो फोन करने से पहले के वो तो मैं नहीं कर रही अभी रिसेंटली दूसरा वीडियो मैं वही करूँगा तेरे कितने अभ्यास हुए हैं लिख के रखे हैं मैंने 2-3 लिखे हैं मैंने आपको फोन आता है मैंने 2-3 अभ्यास लिखे हैं पर मैं अपलोड करना भूल गई और मुझे अभी उनके पेपर भी नहीं है अभ्यास के भाई एक तो दिन सही रहे स्कूल कितना दिया जा रहा है यार पहले फिर कैंसिल हो गई ऐसे भी क्या ही कर रहा है कितना क्या जुटू से स्टाइल है तो नीचे है हो गया उसका मैंने किया हाँ ये देखा
मैं क्या करूँ उसके मेरा सब्जी को बनाना मैंने गुजरात में क्यों भाई चलना रहा मुझसे अबे वो मुझे लग रहा है अकेले फिर क्यों जा रहा है बैठ हो गया मैंने भी कहा कोई नहीं क्यों मुझे ना पता था मैं बोल रही हूँ ब्लैक मैजिक करने के लिए बहुत करती हूँ तेरे को ब्लैक मैजिक करूँ क्या I have that voice I can do that हाँ देख रहे हो वो कुछ तो अलग देख रही है इधर वो सब कुछ तो केरला में डाल रहे हैं हाँ 3 बार देखा है मैंने वो वीडियो मैंने ये आज ही देखा आपकी इतनी सारी आती है रेडिट वाली स्टोरीज और मुझे मजा भी आता है और कैसे आता है मैं ऊपर से रोक कर देती हूँ मेरा बहुत बार फोन विदाउट वो साउंड देखते हैं मेरे को समझ नहीं
कुछ ऐसे ऑकर्ड जैसे आउट ऑफ बॉडी एक्सपीरियंस ये आईडी के टाइम तो हम क्या बोलते हैं शो करते हुए वापस आया ऐसा नहीं तो
कौन सा हॉरर मूवी देख रही है यार अरे भाई रणबीर अलाहाबादी का वो पॉडकास्ट का शॉर्ट्स होता है ना क्या क्या देखिए
मार्शल में सुबह से मैं जो पूरा 5 मिनट्स साइड में बैठा हूं मैं अपना को देख पाता नहीं लेता हूं
तेरा लंबू में अटेंडेंस स्लो कर क्या फोन है अटेंडेंस भेजा आपको मजे